Welcome to the first 1-6 Galaxies video review. We're a Facebook page. The link to the Facebook page is found in the channel. We mostly talk about upcoming Star Wars collectibles and some oldies, but we also talk about hot toys. We had a good discussion about Guardians of the Galaxies last week. So yes, we definitely share a lot. This video review will focus on some great Imperial figures from the previous years, and I'm calling this one the flashback review because it's obviously an old release. So what we have for you today, let's have a look, shall we? The Admiral Piett figure, the Commander Pragi figure, and of course Admiral Thrawn. So I'll start with these figures in the order we see them here. So let's have a look at Admiral Piett. In 2009, I was so glad we got this figure because, well, who doesn't want Admiral Piett in their collection? So we've got, for those of you who are aware of the normal Star Wars boxes, we've got the Militaries of Star Wars logo. We have our normal Star Wars logo that says Admiral Piett, and what I really like about these figures is it gives you their posting. And he was, of course, the Imperial officer aboard the Executor. And it says 1:6 scale figure. We move to the sides, we get that same posting, same logo, a nice picture of him holding his blaster. Now, back of the box shows what we will get in the box with this figure. Sorry about the focus, guys. I'm not the best cameraman ever, and this being my first review, I'm trying to do it the best I can. So I got some nice photo stills of Piett from the various movies. So yeah, and then there's the upcoming releases. Of course, that year we also got first Darth Vader, and we got our first Sand Trooper. So just going over those stills again, once when he was captain, and a couple more times after his great promotion. Now, inside of the box, I've removed the accessory tray, but you would normally see that, the nice grey to match his uniform, I guess, with the gel. For those of you who like the older figures, you'll see that the Sideshow are very in-depth with their characters. They also list the accessories that you'll receive in the box. They, when I review more of them, especially the newer clone troopers, you'll probably notice that the nice lengths of information that we get isn't there anymore. And I was quite disappointed because it's one of those people that always liked reading them. As lame as some people might think it is, I enjoyed the stories. The top paragraph just talks about the transition from the Clone Wars, the Republic Army becoming the Imperial Navy. And then this bottom section focuses on Piett, where I believe it mentions somewhere that his name is Ferris. I can't quite find it here, so I won't zoom in on it anymore, but yeah, so once again, it's your standard Sideshow box, Militaries of Star Wars, a couple of nice pictures. It's and there's the product information with the barcode and the date this figure came out. So without further ado, let's get to him. So here is the Admiral himself. Nice head sculpt. You can see he's got the bags underneath his eyes, much like the Admiral did in the movies. Suppose if you were running from end to end of the Executor for Lord Vader, you wouldn't get much sleep. Then we have boots, some nice gloved hands, holds the pistol, which I'll get to later, and a semi-relaxed / semi-gripping hand. Now, the reason why I am reviewing these 3 figures is because, in one video, is because it's, there's not a lot to say about them. Like, we can see their rank badge. Very nice. Now, we also get these nice little rank clippings that you see here. Oh, thank God I noticed that one. This one had actually fallen out. So yes, you're supposed to have 2 in there, and 1 in there. They do fall out quite easily, so you might have to be a bit careful if you don't actually own this figure. And one thing I will add is that there is always a huge discussion about the Imperial uniforms. Some people reckon they're more of a greyish. Like, if you look at the stills from the box, you can see like a more greyish type of look, but in there, the other officer has, like, suppose you can say it's a very deep green. Ozzel looks like a greyish. I reckon there's nothing wrong with the uniform, and like Governor Tarkin has a very deep green uniform from A New Hope, if I could remember. And I'm pretty sure the statue they brought out had the same type of colouring. So yeah, I quite like the uniform. I reckon if you were in person, the suits would appear green, but through the filtering of the cameras, they might come out a bit grey. Of course, they did use a lot of stage lighting also, so yeah, hard to tell with the uniform. But yes, accessories. Now, as I talked before, we get this this standard pistol. It's not a design you see often. It's got like a little power coil there, and yeah, it just as I said before, it just goes straight into this hand, and he actually, sorry, trying to do this one-handed, but yeah, he does hold that quite nice. Now we also get, not one of my favorites. I'm not really a fan of these. Sorry guys. But we do get a sculpted hat. Yeah, it looks, I mean, it does look nice. If I were to put it on him, yeah, it's a bit of a tight, like, it's not really a tight fit. It's more biggish. So yeah, that's really why I don't like them. I mean, there is good detail there. Standard cap. The Imperial button. I much prefer this one, which is the more lifelike fabric cap. And if you can see, yeah, there we go. You can see we get a much better, fit there. And then we get the ever so awesome E11 blaster. Sorry if the detailing doesn't really show up, but there's a lot of sculpting in the blasters. And last but not least, we get the 2 hands that actually come with the figure when you pull him out of the box. And they're virtually the same hands. That one there's got a bit more of a grip to it. But yeah, and once again, same hand for holding the pistol, or E11, just without gloves. And of course, for those of you who are familiar with the Star Wars franchise, we get the stand with the dated logo on it. And it's the old stand. It's not the nice new ones we get these days. It is the old ones. Yes, sorry about the fact that obviously this would be all silver. It's just mine's aged, because I actually got this figure when it first came out, so it's been standing in my collection for many years. Yeah, so as we can see, sitting on the display stand, it's a quite nice figure. Articulation wise, yeah, he can't really move his arm up that much, but I don't think you would really need to. And his knees do bend. I'm not going to show it now because of it's, like I said, it's the old display stand, so it's quite hard to move things around anyway. But yeah, the head moves really well, look up and down. But yeah, I reckon this one's a pretty good one. So I'll move on to the commander, shall we? Yeah, we've got Prodigy, once again, Imperial Officer. This time it's the Devastator, where we find him stationed. Same logo, nice imaging, militaries. Now, if you're wondering who or what the Devastator is, because you've not familiar with the character, it's the Star Destroyer seen in A New Hope, the one that is able to capture the blockade, the Tentai 4 rather, blockade runner. And there's some nice pictures if you're unaware of who he is. He's the Imperial officer that's constantly talking to Darth Vader. I hate to say it, but it's been a couple of months since I've seen A New Hope. I'm just trying to remember if he's the one that says, yeah, I think he might be the one that says we've not intercepted any transmissions, and that a escape pod was able to jettison shortly after the capture. I think that might be him. Either way, I wasn't too annoyed that he was a minor character, because I'm a huge fan of the Imperial officer look, and you can never have too many of them, because there are obviously so many. So yeah, it's the standard design of the Sacha box. You'll notice we get these designs a fair bit. Once again, we have the long. This top part is always the same. I should mention that. No matter which military figures you buy, it always talks about the Clone Wars. I believe the only ones that would be the only difference in the paragraph would be probably this bit, because obviously with the clone troopers they're not going to mention the Imperial Navy. And then yeah, we get a little bit of information about New Hope. So let's take a look at him. We have very nice head sculpt, the ranking badge. Now this one is smaller than Piett's, because obviously Piett had the double because he was an admiral. This guy is only fortunate enough to be a commander. So we've got our clips that show the ranking. Now, difference for this guy, he actually has a nice holster there. And if you play around with the fabric, once again, this one's very old, and I was not able to pick this one up day one. I had to get it from eBay. Thank God I got it cheaply. But yeah, that can actually clip over. I'm not going to, because I've seen people have rather bad luck with them. I don't want to be one of those people that have bad luck and have it snap. So yeah, the standard boots. Once again, glove hand for holding. Oh, sorry. Relax hand with a small grip. I think this one holds the pistol. I generally display these guys with their hands behind their back. Just another slight gripping hand. Yeah, I suppose you can kind of see where he would hold the pistol with his hand. It's not as tight as Piett's. So yeah, you will notice a lot of similarities with the officers. Moving on to the accessory, like we get that it's the same sculpted hat, just painted black. This fella came out before Piett, so I think Piett's uniform was probably, his accessories were probably molded from this guy's. We get our fabric hat. It's the one I always use. Fabric hats just personally look way better than the sculpted. The exact same pistol. I guess we never actually get to see officers use them in the movies. I can't remember if Piett drew a pistol or not in Empire Strikes Back when he was briefly stationed at Bespin. That does fit in the holster. I suppose they couldn't add in a holster for Piett because a lot of people would complain. that he didn't have one in the movie, so why would he have one with the figure? And then we get the E11, same as Piett. Pretty much the exact same gun, same detailing. And you can actually lower this part. Sorry, I'm very clumsy. You can actually lower this part and make it like a bipod type thing. If you're familiar with the blasters the clone troopers have, do the same thing with them. And then we definitely, yeah, that's definitely relaxed. I knew we got a relaxed hand without the glove, and a tighter pistol hand without the glove. I display these guys with the gloves because I don't remember seeing them without gloves, but suppose you would think they would take them off sometime. So yeah, not a lot to say about this guy. I like him. Yes, you could complain he's a minor character, but hey, I reckon any officer that interacts with Darth Vader deserves to be made. I personally wish we would get a Tarkin, maybe an Urzel. Veers would be great because we got snowtroopers. Maybe, I don't know if I'd buy one, but Captain Nita maybe. He was seen a couple of times. Yeah, like, I suppose they could make officers into the new clone troopers. But yeah, we haven't had an officer in a long time, so... This fella was available in 2008, so yeah, a year before Piett. Which is quite funny because his display stand, which I didn't show before, exactly the same as Piett's, says 2007. So maybe they made this guy, they had the prototype and everything finished well before the box, and they dated the stand before they dated the box. But hey, yeah, just a quick look at him again. Exactly the same he's a bit more articulated than Piett. His uniform's not as tight, so yes, he can actually raise his hand above his head. But yes, like I said, exact same accessories, exact same display stand, just he's wearing the normal Imperial Black as opposed to the green. So I shall get to our final character of the day. What can you say? Grand Admiral Thrawn gives his, just like the others, his posting. Commander of the Imperial Fleet. Same logos, same everything. Nice picture of him with his hand behind his back looking very intimidating. The other picture, yeah. So, as you can see, pistol. Believe it or not, they actually changed the pistol with this character. I'll get to that later. Yeah, sorry about this. This one here is 2009 as well. My box was not as fortunate. As you might remember reading in Queensland News, we got floods back in 2011. Unfortunately, this box got moisture damage, and as you can see, it's come apart. But hey, the figure lived, so I'm thankful for that. Get some nice shots of, which you could call his Star Destroyer. I have not read many Star Wars comics. I used to get them from the library when I could. I never had the money to buy comics. Probably won't ever get the money to buy comics because I'm always investing in so many great figures. But we have some great pictures of the artwork from comic books. Now, interesting enough, you could get this set up, this nice command chair. I've never been fortunate enough to get one. Yes, back when this guy was released, the Australian dollar was awful. Way worse than it was now, and I believe Sideshow were going to charge me, I think it was double of what the original price of the command chair set was. So I had to order the standard instead. So yes, it should be noted that yes, these characters, Thrawn had the exclusive chair. It was the exclusive version. The others were both sideshows. You could only order them from the website when they were first released, but they were advertised as sideshow exclusives, but we never actually got the famous sticker which Sideshow put on. I suppose I should probably do the inside again. Sorry guys, jumping ahead of myself. Yeah, we have that same paragraph. Then we have a lot of information about the now cancelled expanded universe, you could call it. Disney not liking the takeover. I mean, with Disney's takeover, didn't really like the pre-existing expanded universe, so they thought they'd change it, which is a shame, because, like I said, I haven't read the comics, but everybody, I reckon, anyone who's an EU fan would probably know the Heir to the Empire story, where Thrawn becomes the successor of the fleet. So yeah, there is his nice head sculpt. I suppose you could say it's perfect because, well, this guy's never been portrayed on screen. Hopefully we get Benedict Cumberbatch portraying him in episode 8 or 9. Very different ranking badge to the others. Expanded universe colouring. Grand Admiral. Same belt. No holster. No gloves either. This figure did not come with gloved hands. But I guess it's probably because he probably never wore them. Once again, comic book character. Probably wouldn't need to include gloves if the comic books never saw him pictured with them. So yeah, very once again, like Piett, there is not a lot of motion. You cannot raise his hand above his head. You tried, you probably snapped the arm. And the same boots. All these figures have the same boots. And as you can see, instead of the black or the green, it's got a white. I guess the only thing to be mindful is you can see mine's a bit stained. It's probably just because it's been sitting in the cabinets for quite some time. Before the cabinets, I had them sitting in open shelves, which probably wasn't the best thing. So accessories. Yes, we got a modified blaster. It's not the same. It doesn't have, I'll just show you. Instead of the coil, it's actually got a scope. So maybe he fancies himself a better shot than the others. If you read a comic book, I don't know, shout out to Darren or Greg on the page. Raymond, maybe. You guys might know if he ever did use a pistol. Yeah, might tell me if give me a bit of knowledge. And like I said, you do not get gloves. Instead, you get fisticuffs, which I believe were the hands that came with that were on the figure when you got him. I'm not a fan of having the fists on the figures. I prefer them holding things. Of course, his most important accessory, regardless of whether you got the exclusive or not, is his pet. Very nice detail on his pet. I think it's pronounced Yaznil or Yazulnal or something. Sorry guys. I believe it's got some type of force mind power. You look into it. That's going from the Hasbro release of Admiral Thrawn, which this was not as detailed, and I always thought this guy was a snake. And then I got this one and went, oh my god, he's actually got claws. So I had to look him up, and yeah, lo and behold, he's actually more of a lizard, not a snake. And lastly, we get our standard Sideshow display stand. Once again, normally it would be all silver, but and the date 2009. So yes, I will say this is the very old stand, and I was glad to see these go in, what was it, 2011, 2012? They're very annoying, and I was so scared that I would scratch the armor of my clone troopers and that. So yes, hope you enjoyed my first review. I will endeavour to get better with more of them. I think I might do one of my favourite troopers of all time next. The ever so rare Stormtrooper Commander. He was the Forced Unleashed Decoed Commander. He was extremely hard to get. But yes, I will endeavour to get to more recent figures. I have the probe droid coming at the end of next week, and I'm very excited for that. And if you've seen the Space Pirate Captain Harlock movie, oh, I've got him coming too. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Anyway, like I said, I'll put the link to the Facebook page in the video description as well. You can access it by clicking on the channel information. Hopefully if you like these reviews, you can come check us out. We're a very small group at the moment, always looking for good, friendly members in the community. Anyway, until next time, may the Force be with you.